paths are made for walking, not waiting, is really just a more ego-friendly way of saying that in order to get the things that you want, you need to get up off your arse and actually move towards getting it, rather than waiting for it to come to you. Now, it has been said that good things come to those that wait, but I'm more likely to say it comes a damn sight quicker to those that get off their arse and actually takes some positive steps towards it. If we don't go after what we want, we're never going to get it. So if we don't take that step forward, we'll always be standing in the same place. So you get the idea? If we're on a journey of self-discovery along a career or fitness path, for example, then we need to be taking one small step every day in order to get there. Sounds ridiculously obvious, doesn't it, really? But ultimately, you have to take into, consideration you factor, the bit that you are human, and therefore constantly dealing with self-doubt, worry, stress, overthinking, not to mention how easily we're distracted by everything else that's going on in our lives and end up procrastination. Remember, procrastination is the thief of all dreams. At the polar opposite end of the procrastinators who will study for the test, apply for that job, or head to the gym tomorrow are those that yearn for instant gratification and want it all right now. They want that six-pack yesterday. These are the people who end up taking on more than they can handle and end up burning themselves out before they even really begun and simply giving up, leaving them no better than the delayers. So how do you make sure you don't end up at either end of the spectrum, waiting for the right path to magically present itself? A scarily huge amount of people, a big percentage, about 92% in fact, say that they never achieve the goals that they set for themselves. So they don't actually set those goals. So you might ask, what is the difference between the 8% that actually do go on and do something? You guessed it, it's all in the mindset. Whether you're currently in the I'll take the first step crew or part of the team, I want it now. You're only really going to get to where you want to be if you walk the path one step at a time. So that being said, here's some tips to either help you get moving or get you to realize that slow and steady wins the race. So number one, accept that your brain needs some readjustment. When things aren't going our way, we'll lay the blame elsewhere. We're very good at blaming things and people and circumstance. I can't start getting the body I want because someone's always using a piece of equipment that I want at the gym. I won't get that promotion because the other guy's better than me, or he's friends with somebody in head office, or it's raining, or I didn't wear the right pants. Whether the reason that we haven't progressed, whatever that is, we rarely look at ourselves and think that maybe the change needs to start right here. And that's the first step towards walking down the path that you want. A positive, productive mindset. Don't let other people stop you from applying for that promotion that you know that you deserve. You definitely won't get it if you don't even try. And using a different piece of equipment at the gym is more of a step towards the physique that you want, rather than not bothering and sulking about it. So, next step, and I love this bit, learn to recognize ants. What do I mean by ants? I mean all negative thoughts. So even when we're consciously trying to keep a positive mindset, negative thoughts like limiting beliefs and self-doubt can creep in without you even really being aware of them. These counter mindsets are more often than not created through past emotional experiences and are responsible for the little voice, that little chirp chirp that tells you that you can't do it or you're not good enough. And the way to get rid of them is quite simple. So start listening to them. No, not like that. When I say that, I don't mean you should start taking on board the voice that tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not qualified enough, but you should hear and recognize that voice and stop it in its tracks and switch it up. Once you've heard the little voice trying to drag you down, tell it to fuck off by reversing the message. Is it pointing out all of your flaws when you look in the mirror? Force yourself to look at your reflection and tell yourself that you look pretty good. Tell yourself you are smart, you are deserving, and you are good enough. Write it down. Say it out loud. You know, you might feel like a bit of a dick the first few times, you know, it happens to all of us. But eventually, you will start to believe these positive messages, and you'll be amazed at how much your confidence will be boosted. You know, it's up to you. Another way to shut those ants up is to immediately take a positive step in the right direction as soon as they rear their ugly little heads with them little antennas on them. Just be prepared for it. You know, plan on going for a run, but an ant is screaming, you can't do that. What's the point? You won't lose weight. So just get up and do it. Put the trainers on, get out the door, stop playing with it and go and do it. And that ant telling you that you won't get it or that you're not clever or qualified enough will clear off. Show that voice what for by applying for the job, going for the run, enrolling on the course and taking small daily actions. So that brings me on to the next bit. Recognize that it's not all about motivation and willpower. Of course, they're important. We all need a little bit of motivation and willpower, but you're going to need more than just motivation and willpower to achieve your goals. Motivation can be hard to maintain. We've all been down that route. Even if you write down the reasons why you're working towards what you are, but that's where willpower kicks in. Surely, you're probably thinking, unfortunately, willpower is like the petrol tank in a car. It starts off full, but depletes every time you use it. And so before long, it's empty. And we can't go any further. In fact, research shows us that 25% of people give up on their goals after the very first week. And a huge 60% quit after the first month. So it's important to recognize that rushing towards the finish line at the end of your chosen path can be just as foolish as putting off taking the first step in the first place. Once you've accepted this fact, you'll stop punishing yourself for every stumble or fall. You'll simply need to add some more fuel to the tank and try again. So start small, finish big. So if you're not willing to white knuckle it towards your goals, how are you going to get there? Well, this brings us back to the idea of small steps. And even though it sounds a little counterproductive, breaking your big goal down into small, bite-sized, ridiculously small yet achievable goals is the easiest way for you to change your mindset. How small? How small? Tiny, you might ask yourself. Want to lose some weight? Start with one sit-up, one less pie. Want to reduce your stress in your life? Meditate for 1 minute each day. Done. Get it sorted. These mini goals will require next to no willpower or motivation to achieve, and yet are steps down the path towards your big goal. And again, if you don't get on that path, it's never going to happen, is it? Have it in your head that these small goals are the minimum and that you'll do more if you feel that you can. This way, if you do the bare minimum, you've still reached the goal. And if you do more, you'll have overachieved it. You might not feel that these small goals make an impact, but they do. Small steps, they've got like compound interest. So they have a cumulative set of results. So little bits. The next bit is don't be afraid of the F word. No, I know, not the one that you've all heard me say loads of time. I'm talking about the other F word, the failure word. So let me tell you this, failure is the first step to growth. You know, failure happens. And if you have to be mentally prepared for it, when it does come, that's the way. A lot of people hit the wall and just give up. But those 8% of people that get to their goals know that failure is nothing to be afraid of. You simply listen to the feedback, make the necessary adjustments to your attitude, plan your mindset and throw yourself back into it. Give yourself permission to fail. Don't think of it as a dirty word. You know, if you take the pressure off yourself and you realize that you don't need to be perfect. Perfect is just procrastination. For me, I believe that failure is the start, it's the prerequisite to growth. I have failed so many bloody times. However, it's the fact that I've got up and got on with it again that's enabled me to grow. So there it is. Walking down that path is a choice. So don't sit around waiting for things to happen. Adjust your mindset, make a plan, get off your arse and stick to it. Paths are made for walking on, not waiting. So get up and get going. Do it now. If you've enjoyed this video, please watch the next video just here or subscribe to my YouTube channel just here.